Y'all, infidels here live on YouTube. Wake up, because it's the first of the month. And so cash those stimmy checks, cash those cashback checks from Oakland, and get ready to pay those taxes, infidels. Here with the Conspiracy Horsemen, where nothing's written off, even though we're demonetized. Y'all. Oh, man, I'm ready to write them all off myself, dude, as we wait for hopefully our special guest to clock in here. I know El Plaja sent him the Ultra Kayfabe link, so but it doesn't matter because the real heroes of the underground are here, man. We're still broadcasting live at YouTube and Hameen Media Group, and Podbean's up and down and up and down and all around. But let's get level-headed tonight. Plenty to talk about, and he's got the fresh cut. I can see he's got the head waxed. He's looking good. GGP, how you doing, bro?
Doing all right, man. It's been a shit day, but I'm doing okay. I'm happy I'm here with you boys. Number one Chief Rocka, Lords of the Underground. Oh, wait, wrong crew.
Yeah.
No, seriously. I'm ready to talk some brass tacks, bro. Hi, Stevie.
Oh, man. Strong style. Stevie, how are you, man? You seem like you've had a long trip to Florida and back. You just want to play some video games, some retro mania, put on the Stevie Richards fitness background, the whole gym, beat the shit out of Tommy Dreamer, and just, blow it all off, man. Like, watch some Hallmark people get chased by bears. I would like to see them get cut down. Like, I think that's what you need, dude.
I think the last part is what you need. You want to see those Hallmark Channel people just get murdered. That's sticking with you, isn't it?
Dude, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Get back!
What
was worse, the fact that it happened, or the fact that I spent about a good 3 to 5 minutes for paying subscribers on the Realm Network to pretty much explain a Hallmark Channel movie? What do you think?
It was good. I think they both were equally painful, I think, but it needed to be covered. I wanted to be attacked by a bear and mauled and fucked over, but that was a terrible clip, and it stuck with me as much as a bucket full of Sour Patch Kids will. Sally, how's it going over there in the Dallas tonight, bud?
Oh, that's the bucket full of Sour Patch Kids has been going strong all week. Oh, that was so fucking amazing. People have messaged me and they're like, and they know I guess there was a spot where they were watching. And they go, it was the bucket full of Sour Patch Kids thing. And I was like, yeah, it was.
It wasn't anything inside joke, too.
There was absolutely zero inside baseball there. It was just a stupid thing that popped me and I could not stop. And then it traveled on to GGP because that's what they always say. They go, we saw you and GGP laughing during the show. I'm like, fuck off. Yes, that's what we do. Yeah. But yeah, so it was first time for us.
We're not a bunch of lazy bones here. We just sit here and we laugh and we have a good time.
We're flesh and bone, Izzy busy, and hopefully Krayzie will be joining us sooner or later here. And if not, there's plenty to talk about. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't, but we'll keep a positive thought no matter what, man. But it's good to be back with you guys. Even though we are demonetized, like I said, Podbean, kind of had to have it out in public with him. I didn't want to because the guy contacted me in DMs and he seems like a nice enough fella just doing his job. But, when it came to this new universal music partnership that can flag Podbean podcasts for copywritten music, I'll do some bullshit there. But, that just enhances what we do. It's just a lead in. And like GGP was saying earlier, you make your entrance theme, to music. It gets you hyped up. I was talking with Big Ray about this. And when you win and you go out,
you know about entrance themes.
What's he know about it? But that is all part of like what my artistry is the remix DJ culture of what I try and do and make references. And the problem is YouTube are these free spaces. So everyone go, well, they own it and you're just making money off of them and with them. Okay. That's Podbean is listener funded here at hackerhameen.podbean.com and Hameen Media Group because of when we get super cheers or we could, where we get Twitch bits to pay the bills, to pay all the stuff that it costs to run everything. Now we can be attacked from an outside third party entity while we're paying for space and then shut down. like that on an algorithm, I got a big problem with that, man. Like that's crossing the line. So
and then to have no recourse,
none.
That's the problem.
Thankfully, Podbean's customer service and this guy, I don't want to out him, but we may have him on because he does have wrestling ties too, and I think that helped us in the fact that he can see what we're doing content wise. But dude, 3 platforms were gone. You know what I mean? Like what's really going on here, Stevie?
Well, I mean, you look at the pattern, you look at what happened to Steven Crowder, you look at what it's happened to the Daily Wire, you look at what it's happened to Gina Carano, and we're by far not considered to be conservative voices. We don't lean either way. We know both sides have major issues and probably need to be cleared out and start all over again. But if you go against any narrative, which seems to be more left-leaning these days, more fascist-leaning, if you speak out against that, then in any way, I mean, they use the excuse of the music, and maybe that was the algorithm that triggered it, but they're listening to the content. Yeah. This guy knows, they're aware of what the Horsemen are, or even other things that they might be able to flag.
It's so weird because every show up there of the 1,600 and 2.5 million downloads has some in there. The YouTube shows, when I do the opening promo, it probably just sounds like the rantings of a madman. But then once you put my music underneath, or I add it with my music underneath, and you get the Podbean for free, that's the value of everything with our intro spots and all that. It's the experience that I'm trying to create there. And I know people appreciate it, and that's why we pay for the premium. So now the premium isn't good enough. Are they going to get another tier where, okay, you're unfuckwithable, like triple the price and you can do whatever you want? Because at the end of the day, it's all about greed. It's all sheer fucking greed, you know?
Let me ask you a question about that. I don't think it's greed. I think it's more just control and having an echo chamber. But you had said something interesting. I think that what's a TGY TV's in the chat room. He was that day that basically said, like, I love 80s love songs and stuff like that, that if there's a certain amount of time that passes with music, that it is free, it's royalty free. You won't get hit with that. So maybe for the time being, if the older hip hop is over 20 or 30 years old, maybe there's a way around it for now.
I just see these things and like, what are we bargaining with these arguments for? Like, these artists should be pumped that people are watching their the AEW and Impact should be pumped that we're reviewing their shit because no one else is watching it. You know, I'm keeping memories and group like mind and conscience from like shared 90s experience. When you play EMF Unbelievable, do I gotta wait? Well, that was 1991, so there's 3 months left before I can start playing EMF Unbelievable. Like, what bending of the will is that? You know what I mean? Is there a difference between now and then is how it's going to be viewed? It's just brutal to have to keep compromising.
And I remember back in the day, guys at MTV, I knew a few guys there, and one of the guys, his whole job, his whole sole purpose was to go through music and see what MTV had the rights to play on their shit shows. Okay, now MTV, you'd figure everybody'd be pumped to have MTV play their fucking song. No, they were waiting for MTV to fuck up and play their shit music to say, oh, well, you didn't get the rights for us. And that guy, his whole job was to find the stuff MTV owned. So then they could say, okay, we want to put this in the Road Rules show. We want to put this on the Real World show. Can we do that really dramatic stinger? We don't own the right? Okay, we'll find something else. It was his job to do that. So they have people just on top of, well, MTV sucks now, but still.
Well, let me put it like this. They can have every dime I've ever made off of Podbean back and what I've charged people for it. So what money have I made off of their music that's any different than somebody bringing it up on YouTube and listening to it? Like, there's no one's making a dime off of reselling their music in any way. So I just don't see which avenue for argument that they hold up aside from the tyranny of shutting it down left, right, and then the double standards of anything I would play on Twitch, on SmackDown Live, self-help group, and DJing, like, to get through these brutal shows, instantly like taken offline and whatnot, and a possible strike. Meanwhile, Jazzy Jeff can get on at lunchtime flip records for an hour. No, nothing. Everyone's flipping it. Like, dude, it's almost like, Stevie, you aren't shit because you didn't win enough matches or titles. Like, it's that equivalent of how does this guy get away with it, but the rest of us damned if you even try it.
It's for sure. I mean, exhausting. And I think people are at a point now, I'm sure we're going to talk about the vaccine passports and all the other thing. And people are going to be exhausted into just give me a vaccine, give me the passport, do everything you can. I'm so exhausted. Just let me get back to my life. And then there's other people out there that really do enjoy being controlled and want to be the teacher's pet on the government to report everybody else that isn't doing what they are doing as the teacher's pet.
Yeah,
the music is just
crazy. Like,
but the music thing is the same thing as what's going on with the mainstream media. CNN is going to lay off a ton of people. They didn't realize that once Trump went away, we even talked about it on the show. Secretly, they should be hoping Trump is reelected because they get 4 more years of high ratings to just bury this guy 24/7. Once he's gone, their cash cow is gone. They censored him off Twitter, Facebook, every bit. They shut down Parler because he was going over there. He has no voice, therefore they have no voice, and they're losing money, and now they're eating themselves. Like you said, you keep poking it, and you keep doing this and that, and you keep thinking that it's not going to hurt.
Yeah. Ow. Why does this hurt? Ow. 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 What is the inside scoop on why Crowder got knocked out on YouTube too?
Well, here's the thing. The truth hurts. It was that voter registration fraud thing where he went to the highway underpass where they had an address. He went to places and asked, does this person live here? He had more evidence of voter fraud than pretty much anybody. He was the Kraken. He brought it, and that's where they go, you're banned because you can't talk about this.
And it makes Drew Schultz even having Alex Jones on his show, a comedian, a guy who specializes in, parody and crowd work of making light of everyone and everything. Like, even that gone.
The other thing he got banned for was the CD. He quoted the CDC and the World Health Organization stats. Right, Sal?
We do that shit all the time. We're done.
Well, here's the thing. This is the thing that when we were talking about this, and I said this really just bodes fucking awful. He has a squad of guys. He has guys he goes to for the law and what's legal, what's not. And he exposes that. He breaks the fourth wall a lot, and he talks about it. He says, "Oh, well, we have to say this because legally." So they do that. They have they have the legal knowledge, and they have the legal people there to tell them, "Don't say this," or "You have to say this," and a disclaimer. So now all he did was give facts, and then he proved it. He backed it up, and he said, "Okay, well, look, this is under a bridge. This is the address that's given for this voter." Right there, just one screw up should be enough to go, "Huh, that is so fucking weird." But no, everybody says, "Nope, we got to cancel him because he's starting dissidents. He's telling lies." Well, it doesn't say that on Snopes. Well, and Steven Crowder, he's a comedian. He's not he's not a political guy. But you know who I really like? That John fucking Stewart guy. He knows his politics. Well, that Trevor Noah, that guy's he's brilliant.
Well,
yeah, is he? Comedians, guys. They're comedians, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, man. GGP, where are you sitting right now?
I wish I was sitting on a fucking tower with a sniper rifle, to be honest. Take out all these fucking idiots because the world is getting worse and worse and dumber as the days go by. And unfortunately, the days are long, and I have to deal with everyone's fucking stupidity. And it's just ridiculous what we have to deal with nowadays and what's considered news and what's considered relevant and what's considered important and what's not. Look, all these people who are getting banned off social media, if the conservative, look, it's all theater at the end of the day, and we're all pawns because the people who are actually making scarol, the kings, the queens, the rooks, the bishops on the chessboard, they're the ones who are holding office. Everybody else is just a pawn. So Steven Crowder, Alex Jones, and all these people who support more conservative values who are getting shut down, the Gina Carano's and all this stuff, they should all band together and go to Rumble or go someplace where they know they can exist and have everybody lift and shift and go to that platform. And you'll see YouTube lose a whole lot of Scott All with advertising revenue and people in subscriptions and this, that, and the other. And then they'll have to do a 180 or 360 and realize, hey, at the end of the day, we have to pay our employees.
But that is the thing. They got rid of Crowder. I hear that's like 300 to 400,000, possibly 1,000 a year that in lost revenue that they're just fucking.
Yeah, but to them, $300,000 to $400,000 is nothing. I know. But what I'm saying,
can you do that? Is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, for example,
that's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I said.
Listen, I just said it 7 times.
Twice, 2 times.
Well, listen, this is what I'm going to say right now. So, Crowder leaves. Alex Jones is already banned off the fucking platform, right? Let's say Fox News pulls their channel. Let's say Tucker Carlson any his channel. Ben Shapiro. Everybody who has some Candace Owens. Anybody who has everything, valuetainment, everything that's leaning towards the conservative side. And they'll say, you know what? Enough of this stuff because tomorrow I might be next. And they pick up and they go somewhere else. All those views, all those people watching those channels who subscribe and all that stuff, hit the notification bell. They all go there. They'll follow. And they will lose so much of the quote unquote, like my buddy Crowbar likes to say, the demographic that it'll actually hurt them because 300,000 or 400,000 here, 500,000 there, 1 million there. Sooner or later, those things are going to add up and it's going to be a big dent on their bottom line.
Just haven't seen. I love the utopian idea you're talking about a alternate platform that runs just as smoothly and is an open air market for free thought from the crazy.
Well, here comes Trump for the hot tag.
Well, who's able to get on their own servers, do that, because it seems at the cost of freedom of speech, someone would have stepped up and done that. They're willing to not let anyone into the game through whatever telecom monopoly they have in order to start that platform you're talking about, because otherwise everyone would be jumping to that, but nobody's really making a move yet.
Well, there's 2 things about that though.
Go ahead. That was
the number one thing is Twitter, YouTube, these social media platforms are part of Operation Mockingbird. They're subsidized by the government, especially the CIA. It's not a money thing. It's controlling minds and hearts and souls of people. Right. Control is the thing. The other thing is they may just wait for everybody to lay the groundwork and put all the infrastructure in on the Trump social media or Rumble or whatever. But we have another parlor situation because everything runs on Amazon web servers.
That's what I'm saying. How do we get past that, Stevie?
You have to have government subsidies and government paying billions and billions of dollars to prop these platforms up. Jeff Bezos has had a government contract pretty much since he was almost out of business just being a book company. Then all of a sudden the government contract comes in. So now Amazon's unbeatable. Now
they're too big to compete with at the end of the day. Instead of too big to fail, too big to even go up against.
Well, because their infrastructure is a monopoly. The servers, the AWS or the Google servers, they're all government-owned properties in a way that cannot be. It's a big club and you're not invited.
Well, once after 9/11, remember the NSA was everything, right? There we upgraded everything, and it was all they's integrated at that time, and that was the beginning of the end. Go ahead.
2 words. Elon Musk.
But he was against AIs. They're the most dangerous thing. 6 months later, what did he tweet, Stevie? You remember?
He got the government contract, and here comes
Can't beat him, join him. Yeah, I get it.
Join him. So
listen,
a one man's name of he's our hope. Here comes the hope. That seems to fail.
Okay, I would like to step and say, who said he's our hope? Who? At what point did he say, "Put all your chips in my basket"? Guys,
your tag team partner just said it.
I didn't look. The reason why I brought him up is because he has 60 plus satellites up in orbit. Why does he have 60 plus satellites up in orbit? No one fucking knows. Why does he need 60 plus satellites for Neuralink? Hasn't out yet. Maybe he will start his own internet to rival what's going on. Now he has the foundation. He has 60 satellites up in space. Bruce Wayne only has 6, according to the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, who's letting him have?
Only has 14.
Who's letting him have the satellites in space?
Stevie, how do we get our own satellites?
Well, I sent a few emails out to satellite companies. Hey, no one's ever tried it. You know, it is the over. This is the over internet, Chug. This is the over internet. We're not on it.
You ain't on it. So that's all roads lead to nowhere in that argument, which is the sad state of affairs. You know, especially
if Elon Musk was that much of a threat, he would not be alive right now.
Right.
They got to him. Maybe he did want to block AI. He thought it was truly dangerous. And they said, here's a bunch of money. You get to go to Mars or do whatever you want, launch your satellites. You have Starlink internet that'll make a ton of money in rural areas and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or we'll kill you. What are you going to pick? It's a close one, right?
Well, hopefully, I'm not sure what's up with Krayzie. I haven't gotten a heads up. I know Plaja sent him the gimmick. Let's see.
Maybe he's launching a satellite.
Maybe
satellite. Bone Thugs and Satellite.
Did anyone tell him Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they're in Cleveland, so maybe not. I thought I put 7:15 Eastern, but no heat on Plaja, man. He's doing his best to.
No, not at all.
Obviously, the guy's a superstar. It's his deal. Yeah, man. There was a big,
he got vaccinated. He's in ICU.
Yeah.
Our favorite young MC is Young Jizzy, and new Young Jizzy allegations this week of
before we came on.
Yeah, trafficking 2 underage minors and pimping them out, and then a new lawsuit here. Let me just bring this up 1 second. Okay.
I want to know one thing.
Go ahead.
We have fucking hackers going into NASA. We have hackers from China going into Sony. We have what's his name who's arrested now from WikiLeaks. He hacked and put all the Podesta emails and everything out. You mean to tell me there's no way we can hack this MC Jizzy's email and get the list of names of everyone that her and Epstein served?
Well, you can get that. You give me Biden's laptop and Anthony Weiner's laptop. We'll get right on that as well.
And I was going to say, if it's an Apple, you can't get anything because remember they wouldn't even go through the terrorists' phones because it's illegal.
Right, couldn't get through it. Stevie, that reminds me, we're having some issues of emailing the Stevie Ray TV show to the A-Star Network and her downloading it on a MacBook. So if you wouldn't mind giving me 2 minutes. Thankfully, Sal reminded me of that. I can
only for one condition.
Yeah.
If you can tell me who MC Jizzy is.
Young Ghislaine Maxwell.
I should have. Okay. I was going to say when you said MC Jizzy, I'm like, yeah, probably sex scandal coming up when you pick that name as a rapper.
Yeah. Well, speaking about rappers, what about that little? That little
we'll get to it. I want to wait in case Krayzie Bone shows up. I want to use that as our main story. This story stands out among a number of claims.
I was going to pop you guys with that one.
That have been filed in recent months against the late financier's estate and co-executors Darren Indyke and Richard Kahn. While most of the allegations involving Epstein and his associates follow a similar pattern involving how victims were recruited and abused, this case filed March 22nd involves allegations far more sinister than others. The woman, who is identified only as Jane Doe, claims that Epstein and Maxwell repeatedly raped her in front of her 8-year-old son at a hotel in Naples, Florida in early 2008. They trafficked her to have sex with a number of men, including an unnamed local judge, and that Epstein forced her to undergo vaginal surgery so that he could market her as a virgin and one of his high-profile clients. She's represented by 2 teams of lawyers, one from the New York law firm Philip and Paolicelli, and the other of Kofi Burlington, based in Miami, whose founding partner, Kendall Kofi, is formerly the U.S. attorney in Miami, so pretty heavy hitter there. Indicting Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say it's funny because the guy lives in Miami, but he has a fucking coat factory here in Long Island.
Indike and Khan's lawyers did not respond to requests for comment, nor did Maxwell's longtime attorney, Laura Menninger. Video conference on this case is scheduled for Thursday afternoon before a federal judge in Fort Lauderdale. So tomorrow, if you're watching with us live. Doe, identified in the claim only as a real estate broker at the time who sold properties in and around Palm Beach, said she met Epstein and Maxwell sometime in late 2006, early 2007 at a barbecue hosted by her employer, who Epstein knew well. Doe was apparently, approximately 26 at the time and a native of Turkey who lived in Broward County, according to the complaint. According to the complaint, I scrolled too far. Her employer, who is not identified in the lawsuit, told her that Epstein wanted to rent a house or purchase a piece of real estate, and she ultimately found him a property for $10,000 a month. The suit says he paid cash, and she was directed not to identify the tenant or process of Epstein's identification. Epstein expressed an interest in hiring her working for him. As an inducement, he gave her expensive gifts and promised to find her then husband highly placed employment. The woman claims that in the middle of 2007, Maxwell, who went by the name G-Max, we didn't know that one. Not young Jizzy anymore, she's G-Max, took her passport for safekeeping. And Doe later learned that Epstein kept it in a locked box inside his Palm Beach estate. About 6 months later, Doe, persuaded by the persistent efforts of Maxwell, agreed to consider work for Epstein, a trained hairdresser. Doe said she was hired to go to Epstein's Palm Beach mansion in 2008 and cut Epstein's hair in January. When she arrived, Epstein was naked and with Maxwell's assistance brutally raped her, according to the lawsuit.
Ridiculous.
At the time, the woman recalls Epstein had guns in his possession, which were displayed in order to frighten and intimidate her. After the assault, Epstein allegedly gave Doe $200. She attempted to leave, telling them she intended to report the rape. Maxwell, in response, claimed that she had already called the police. Two men who claimed to be police officers arrived at Epstein's mansion and threatened to arrest Doe for prostitution, to take away her son and deport her. Then Epstein and Maxwell ordered Doe to drive with them to Doe's vehicle, picking up her son along the way. During the trip, they pulled off the side of the road to a waterway filled with alligators. Epstein then ushered the plaintiff to the body of water and told her in explicit detail that, as it happened to other women in the past, according to the pair, she would end up in the body of water and be devoured. She would ever reveal Epstein had done to her, the suit says. At a hotel in Naples over a period of days, Doe was repeatedly raped by Epstein and Maxwell in the presence of her young son. Over the next 5 months until May 2008, they threatened and intimidated her by emphasizing Epstein's influence over the FBI, the U.S. Homeland of the Department of Homeland Security, of Immigration and Customs Enforcement of Florida, and local law enforcement, according to the lawsuit. The women said Epstein helped her promise to find her husband a job with the FBI and used that incentive as others to leverage force and have her have sex with other men, including an older, heavyset man named Walter and another older man who identified himself to Doe as a local judge. According to the complaint, she was repeatedly photographed and videotaped naked, performing lewd activities during this time, bro. I mean, and this even goes on, bro. Like,
okay, here's my
thing. Bro. Like, this is big. Like, they were under the radar, and now we're back, Sally. We're back in a big way.
So here's the thing. Has anyone, maybe I'm missing something, maybe I didn't hear them. Has Epstein ever threatened anybody in any of these other things aside from, just keep your mouth shut, here's money, here's hush money? Has he been physically violent with any of these people? Because this sounds. Now here's the thing.
Two blonde girls who were recruited who were massage girls, where it got a little weird with Ghislaine, like that kind of intimidation.
Well, right, like Ghislaine saying, if you don't want to be fired, you shut your mouth, get the fuck out. Here's your money, shut the fuck up. That's not just, I get that, but like guns in the house and like showing off guns, like here's my thing. He didn't have to do it. This moron had tons of fucking tail running in and out of the house. Okay. And Granted, that could have been just as easily could have been Stevie trying to sell a house in Palm Beach.
I say 10,000 a month, man. Stevie, you were at the New Japan G-Max Climax. What was that like when you worked that?
Exploding vagina match.
They're selling lots of combo pictures and everything. Apparently, not as many combo pictures as I've seen and Giselle Maxwell was getting. That this is what happens when people like we're seeing with Deshaun Watson, who has all the money in the world, and dozens of women are coming out about this massage pattern that he has with getting random massages in the same pattern of trying to have relations when he could really just either get it for free, fly to Vegas where it's legal, get high price. You know, there's some sense of it's so out there that you shouldn't do it. That drives the sociopaths and the psychopaths like these two. And the word is that he's like the assistant and she's the really dangerous one. It's not him, it's her, which we really don't know much about.
That's what I mean. I mean, she seemed to be the muscle. Not him. Like he's not an intimidating guy. The guy's name.
Well, he gives the order, but she's the one who has to carry it out. She's the one who has to go deliver the news while he goes and cleans off in the fucking bathroom. She's the one who's like, "Don't worry, you're already a whore, and the police are on the way."
But that's what I mean. Like this guy, what don't you think he would have insulated himself from ever being in that position? And he had G-Max go out and fucking brood it up a little bit and be like, "Get the fuck out." You know what I mean? I understand. I'm just like logically, it just doesn't make sense.
Well,
yeah, why would he have to resort to this?
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say they get to a point where they get so egotistical that they become sloppy.
I agree.
And that scene that she just envisioned about him threatening to throw her into the alligator pit, I just envisioned it in my head like a movie scene. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't be too far fetched that it did go down that way.
It just sounds like such a clusterfuck of a night.
But bro, I'm not going to give this guy any relevancy. The guy was a giant clusterfuck. You know what I'm
saying? Here's the thing. They're not going to release these kind of stories with that level of detail unless there's been investigators where she's like, and then he took me here, and they're like, oh, yeah. And then they go check it and like, okay, this checks out, that checks out. How about, and now we're talking about a male-female rape on a Turkish immigrant who they know they got that they can intimidate. Like if they're predators, they're looking how to get their claws into it. They got it with the kid, the husband, the influence, and somebody who doesn't know and just hears FBI and da-da-da-da is going to fold. I mean, granted, I believe she is a high-price hooker from the fucking get-go, but I don't believe that they didn't help that process along.
Well, absolutely. They groomed her for it. I'm 100% believe that.
Wasn't there a judge who recently just said that they weren't going to disclose the data from the case because it's too gruesome and they didn't want to indict?
Yeah, so that's why I thought they were shutting it down, and then this fucking drops.
Well, I'm just saying, if this drops, and this isn't, and it was just listening to you read it, you gave me chills. Mm-hmm. If this wasn't gruesome, imagine what they're hiding.
That's true too.
If this is just the cream on top of the coffee or whatever the saying is, I mean, you know what I mean?
The jizzy on top of the coffee.
Yeah, G-Max, baby.
Stevie, I saw you working out with the new G-Max super band earlier. Pressing that.
The pink bands.
The big bands. Where can we
guns everywhere in the home gym? Displayed everywhere.
Yeah,
there are guns all over the place, but it
intimidates the cats.
There are weapons there. The one might be like right here, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Got it all covered. Ben, you taught me well. I want you to play, if you could. I don't know how long it is, but Eric Weinstein talks about meeting Jeffrey Epstein and how it doesn't quite add up. I'm still not sure how this video is still allowed to be on YouTube. Because it really does put in perspective. What's that?
Epstein story.
We might get demonetized. You want me to?
Interested.
Is there a certain spot you want me to play?
You can't demonetize somebody who's already demonetized.
It's 15 minutes. Is there a time?
Oh no. I would just suggest that maybe we share this in the group. We've done it in the chat. And Eric Weinstein pretty much says that he's been around people that have been on the level of wealth that Epstein supposedly is, and he doesn't behave the same way as these people. It's talking about the difference between a 6 or 7 figure worth and the people he's been around, which are 9 and 10 figures worth. And that's sort of what Epstein's supposed to be, a billionaire, hedge fund guy, this and that. And when he met him, by the way, he goes, there was something off about the guy and kind of terrifying, but he wasn't somebody that acted like he ran in the circles of a Warren Buffett, of whatever these hedge fund guys are that are billionaires out there. Even a Trump, he didn't come off in there, even though he was in those circles. So he said he had the impression that this guy was an asset of some sort.
He's CIA. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
No, I was going to feed off what you said. I thought you were done finishing up.
No, I'm done. You're right. I was going to say an asset for the CIA or some 3-letter agency.
All he was, in my opinion, is a CIA honeypot asset to get these people, to get them in compromising positions.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the CIA can do what they want, when they want, how they want, with whichever individuals in the situation that they're going after, world leaders, Fortune 500 companies, executives, CEOs, whatever the case may be. Hey, by the way, guess what? We want you to do ABC. No. Oh, really? What about this? Oh, shit. Okay. I'll play by your rules. And you know what? That's why when he got arrested, people were saying this is above my pay grade. You know what I mean? As far as, and the CIA is telling him to that's why he got that lucrative plea deal when he got originally arrested in Florida for the rape case. But people are, people don't care. They don't care. He's dead. That's all to him. He's dead.
Yeah, but they got her, and they're going to want somebody. They're going to want to burn some witch.
Bro, did you realize how they caught her? She got caught on purpose. She let herself get caught.
Yeah.
She fell asleep in the getaway car.
Exactly, like Stacks.
But she was hanging out she was hanging out in a mansion on however big of an acre lot, which I'm looking for right now. But she paid cash, like $1 million cash for this one. It was worth, like, it was dozens and dozens of acres. She was in New Hampshire. But yeah, it was kind of a jerk. He had his flaws. But we got to touch back on the fact that did he get walked out that night? There's lots of people that still believe he got walked out. He was kind of he was pretty much a Sour Patch Kid.
He had his flaws, he said.
He ate all the fucking Sour Patch Kids from the bucket. He didn't share.
You should be like, you should do the wrestling thing. Like, no matter how much of a fucking asshole somebody is, like, but he was a good worker and he had a great mind for the business. Like, justify anything.
Take that coffee to go.
I don't know. The Canadian spaceman, I don't know if that's a new breaking thing or not, but exclusive Hunter Biden Pornhub account uploaded personal porn, including family members. I can't click on it because I'm in StreamYard, but I don't know if anybody wants to bring that up, if that's breaking right now or not, but I hope it is. But just more obscenity, and like just when you think like everyone's like, yay, turn the page. No, let's start putting the spotlight and showing what really is. And from there, those girls, let's start flipping more than on fat local judges. Let's get to the real big clients and what they were really used for influence and along those lines, dude, and start taking down the big names that are probably CDC attached, Clinton Foundation attached, Obama family attached.
Bro, it's never going to happen. We have fucking Bill Clinton talking about women empowerment now. Come on.
Yeah, well.
That's like Helen Keller teaching us how to drive. Come on. It's not going to happen.
I heard Bill Clinton just got booked on the new bar wrestling show. It's going to be great.
Tremendous.
Steve, you like that one?
Can't wait for he comes out with a 60-minute whatever it is.
60-minute Iron Man. Yeah, man. The other one, I guess we'll get to because I'm not sure what's up with Krayzie. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait till 8:15 just in case there is a central time difference. And he was, off, but hopefully. But actually, El Plaja said he got a hold of Lord Jamar and he was going to run in, but it's just too close to. They're going live right now at 8:00 on him and Godfrey and Rod Digger on their show. So otherwise, I'd say let's jump over and we'll do a run in on them. But then that'd be the second. Krayzie Bone would show up in this room and be like, "Where's everybody at?" What was the other one that I had up here from the chat? Sorry for a minute.
We keep remembering, or we keep forgetting the vaccine passports. Is that something that you have to deal with coming up on the second GGP?
I hope not. I hope not, bro. I mean, and they're trying to pass it here in New York, and to be honest with you, it's ridiculous. It's asinine, and what it is history repeating itself. Except this time, it's not the Nazis and the Jews in World War II. It's everybody here in New York and everybody in this nation who are blindly being led to the slaughter. At the end of the day, why do we need papers to have freedom? It doesn't make any sense. It's double talk, double speak, like from 1984. Look. We all know COVID is real. We all know COVID is something new and it affected us tremendously. No one's saying that. But at the end of the day, all it is a new virus that we've adapted to, and the numbers since January 20th have declined. No matter what the CDC person who just recently came out and said, "Oh, I'm fearful for my life. It's going to be pandemonium," or whatever the fuck she said. So freaking Biden can try to push his agenda forward. Look. Everyone's getting this quote-unquote vaccine, which isn't a vaccine. All it is a shot, just like the flu shot. It's not going to prevent you from getting COVID. If you do get it after the shot, allegedly, it's supposed to be not as severe. Stevie, I think you sent the perfect meme today. We had the 2 lab rats sitting in the cage saying, "Did you get the COVID vaccine yet?" And the other lab rat said, "No, I'm waiting for it to be done, being tested on the humans first." And that's exactly what we are. We're letting ourselves getting tested for something that isn't FDA approved, has been rushed, and they lifted the ban off the pharmaceutical companies if something goes wrong. Them the rules. Fuck it, my bad. You're on your own, kid.
And the new hand waving thing, the desensitized hand waving thing that everybody gets to say now, their little fucking smarmy comeback is, "You worried about papers? You have a driver's license." Yeah, great. We have a driver's license that we have to carry for ID. So what's one more thing? What does it matter? That's not the fucking point, you smug cunt. For bringing people who they just hand wave it away.
What about voter ID then? That's the double think, double speak.
Well, but they're against that. Everybody's against that. No voter ID. Can't have voter ID. But you need this. You need this. God damn it.
Yeah, but the problem is with here's a counter argument. With a driver's license, I can buy a house if I don't have a car, and I don't have a driver's license. If I live in the city, I don't need a driver's license. I don't have a car. Right, you ride the trains, you take Uber, right? Because there is no reason to drive in the city. So I can still buy a house, I can still fly, I can still have good credit, I could have a credit card, a bank account.
For a nominal fee, you can do that on your driver's license now. When you re-up your license, you could just get the world travel one, man. And they could probably tie the COVID thing in top of that with your vaccine papers.
That was the real ID after 9/11. That was the real ID after 9/11. I'm going to say this too. It's so funny. This has got to be by design, because we're sitting here going, "Oh, they're against they want you to have a vaccine passport, but not voter ID." So everybody just spins their wheels and treads water, and you can't reason with anybody with that. Delta, the CEO of Delta, is against the voter ID laws that Georgia, the governor, just put up a bill for, which doesn't have anything racist in it, has nothing that suppresses anybody from getting a free ID and going in line. It actually keeps people from bribing you while you're in line. You can have free water, free drinks that are unmanned, that aren't manned with any kind of that anybody's going to sway you. They're mad about that. But the Delta CEO is against voter ID, but you need a photo ID to board a plane on a Delta flight.
Right.
That's the double think and the double speak. And it's got to be at this point by design to get everybody just spinning their wheels and exhausting themselves. It can't just be, we do live in an idiocracy, but I believe there's people that are saying it's like us ribbing somebody. Yeah, do that. Hey, run that high spot. Oh, I'm at a rest hold. Oh, do the rest hold. I'm in a high spot. Like whatever rest. And we're in the back in the locker room laughing like this guy's just we're driving him nuts. That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah. And, just the normalization of not even like, oh, it's just a foregone conclusion. You're going to go get vaccinated. And once you do, then you'll be able to plug this into the app and the app will take care of you because then you'll be able to pass. Well, what if I never got the vaccine and I don't have an app? Then what happens? Well, then Well, then you don't want to see what's going to happen to you. Then you're going to get a ticket and you're not going to be able to go to the Giants game, and you can't go to SPAC to see Dave Matthews, and you can't. Well, why not? I'm fine. I feel fine. I pass all the tests. Well, no, that we've all agreed that this.
No, because Fauci said now that you're healthy, you're actually sick. The new strain, you might feel great, but you're sick. Trust me. That's exactly what he said. They knew that they were running the course with terrorism. They knew that they were running the course, and they actually couldn't bring back ISIS and all that stuff with what the last administration did.
Right.
And when this one runs out, where eventually people get tired and just ignore it, hopefully, and whatever, you're not, I don't care about your mask and all this other bullshit. That's when Project Bluebeam gets put in. And because there's always got to be an enemy to fight, because the war machine is the only thing that's propping up the economy of this country right now.
What about in Italy, the new terrorist group? You guys heard about the new terrorist group in Italy?
Oh, boy.
Italian
Bob,
ISIS. No, the Italian ISIS.
Yeah.
Got him.
Do you want your bomb delivery or takeout?
30 minutes or less.
But seriously, Stevie's spot on with this. It's ridiculous that we need a boogeyman, and it's ridiculous that no one questions anything anymore. They just go along with everything because they don't want to be bothered, and they don't realize how much of their freedoms people are giving up, how much of their liberties. Like a buddy of mine today is like, "Hey, did you get vaccinated?" I'm like, "Hell no." He's like, "Well, I'm just going to get my second shot now." He goes, "I got planned a trip to go to Vegas." I was like, I just wanted this over with so I can do what I want to do. And just, I was like, bro, the fact you're even telling me this statement, you don't think there's anything wrong with that? The fact that you're allowing the government to tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and you're giving them an inch today, they're going to want a mile tomorrow. You don't see anything wrong with that statement you just said? Well, I got to take care of this. Yeah, I understand that. It's called life. But realistically, you give them an inch, just like the wrestling fans or the Star Wars fans or anybody in general. You always give them an inch. They're going to want a mile back. Once that threshold is crossed, there's no more. There's no more. It's ridiculous. It's utter freaking nonsense. And I don't understand the whole premise. Like, and then you get labeled as a truth seeker. When is trying to find out the truth a bad thing? How can they put a negative connotation on the word truth?
Oh, 1984. Ignorance.
I know, bro.
Ignorance is strength, buddy. Right off the pages, not what truth. And you want the hardcore Stevie? Big Stevie Christ, could you bless this show before we go into this next story?
Yes. Dear God, let us not be raped in front of our family members by Blaise Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein. Let us not ever need vaccine cards, and if anybody shows us, smite them to hell.
I appreciate that. Amen. We needed that. Amen.
I just turn my back to you and do it the old school Latin way in the Catholic Church.
The most thing that upsets me the most is there's so many freaking millionaires. Not someone who has $1 million, but like hundreds of millions of dollars of net worth and billionaires in this world, and there's no fucking Batman in this fucking world to take out all these pricks. Not one. Yeah.
Well, that's
we have Lex Luthor and Jeff Bezos.
I Twitter thumbs deleted it before I posted it, but I put, there's tons of real bad guys out there and real super villains. And guess what? There's really no superheroes that are going to save you. There's nobody flying around. There's real UFOs, real aliens, and real supervillains out there. There are no real superheroes with superpowers. Like, that's the reality of it. But these movies trick us and they make people believe that there is some hope, but there is none. Especially this week, Breitbart reports rapper Lil Nas X unveils Satan shoes, Sally, containing human blood, limited to 666 pairs. This article has been updated. The original version said Nike collaborated on the creation of the Nike Satan shoe. Nike told fact-checking outlet Snopes Nike did not release, nor did they design these shoes.
Snopes was wrong?
They sued him.
Yeah, bullshit. That's all PR campaign blowback. They were definitely in on it. Rapper Lil Nas X has unveiled his Satan shoes, which contain human blood and will be limited to 666 pairs that are individually numbered. The sneaker starts at $1,018. Nike told fact-checking site Snopes it did not collaborate in the creation of the Satan shoe. Well, then why is there shit on the side of it and be able to sold under the Nike brand? Satan shoes are expected to be released on Monday, March 29th. They contain a 60 cc ink and 1 drop of human blood, according to the
blood?
Yeah, I don't know. Streetwear culture and news account. In selling these sneakers, the rapper has partnered with Mischief, MSCHF, a company that runs on, quote, structured chaos, and has been, quote, creating some of the most absurd, cynical, and viral projects and products that have spread across the internet, according to the report last year by Business Insider, which it absolutely did. Mischief and Lil Nas X selling the Satan shoes. They sold out in 1 day, and there was 666 pairs. And the 1080, the price tag stands for Luke 1080.
And 1018.
1018, yeah, 1018. Jesus said he saw Satan cast out of heaven like a lightning bolt down to earth. So, just more and more satanic panic. Sal, go ahead.
So here you go. Nas, whatever the Nas X or whatever the fuck this guy is.
Yes, Nas X. Let's not mistake him for Nas.
Yeah, not nasty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this, I know the difference because whatever. So anyway, this fucking turd.
Please explain the difference. I don't know who these people are.
Well, Nas X is Nas in space.
Yeah, Nas X.
Just like Jason X, like the movie Jason X.
Yes,
exactly.
Nas is a lyrical genius. He's a rapper from the 90s. His name is Nasir Jones, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone knows who Nas is.
As like a legendary king of hip hop. Little Nas X is a factory produced in the last 3 years, openly gay rapper. He did that crossover into the country fucking genre. And now,
Old Town Road.
Right. Yeah, now they're going straight into.
So no relations. Did they use this guy's property to make a factory version of him?
Right, but he couldn't lace Nas's boots on the mic when it comes.
But I'm saying, what does Nas think about this then?
Well,
here's this is a perfect segue because he doesn't have the talent, so he has the gimmick. Okay, Kiss did this with Marvel Comics back in the day. Okay, Kiss took a hypodermic needle, and it was all done by a doctor, and they put their blood into the ink of their comics. Okay, huge fucking blow up over this. Okay, there was a huge blow up because now Kiss stood at this point for Knights in Satan's service. This was a big deal. Okay, this was a huge deal, and Kiss knew what the fuck they were doing. This fucking comic went ballistic, like it went through the roof. Is
that like worth mega bucks having a copy of that one?
Because it's not. It didn't go on. It wasn't a long lasting thing, man. This came and went, but now the whole fucking business of it, we put our blood into the comic. This turd put him in his shoes and can collect that money quicker. This is an immediate return. Not okay. Well, if the comic sells, it'll be no. He has this many shoes.
$3.5 million after expenses paid.
Right. And it's not this little puffed his blood. It's not even his fucking blood. Like if he would have been like, I took my blood and I put it in there, it'd have been like, okay, great.
Michael Jackson.
You don't know.
Pretty much.
But that's the whole thing. Like this is brilliant marketing by this schmuck.
No, it's brilliant marketing by his company Chaos or whatever it is. Right. Like they're definitely they went viral so fast with people just like wanting to get out their COVID rage. Like here we are.
But you know what? Okay.
Go ahead. No, you go first.
I was just gonna say real quick that this guy now they started after he announced this. Okay. Yeah, after he announced this went from the situation is they started going into his back catalog in the country song he did.
Stevie.
They really started going
after Nas, awesome Nas, bullshit Nas. Awesome Nas, bullshit Nas.
Yeah, I could have got that from the
And not to be mistaken with the energy drink NOS, okay?
Right, NOS. But now that's the whole thing. Like, they started digging into his other song about how his other song is like it's about cheating on your wife or doing whatever and still getting laid or whatever the deal is. And he came out and he was like, you know what? I made a song. If your kids shouldn't listen to it, and I give him credit for this. He's like, that's for the parents. You guys stop buying them this shit. You guys stop letting them listen to this. I make a song. Your kids ain't got to listen to it. That's your job as a parent to make sure they don't. And he's right. And I give him that credit because everybody has to blame him. Guess what, assholes? You guys made him famous. You fucking made him famous. Just like when you made Ozzy famous. Well, no, he was he was made. He was created in a fucking lab, but aside from that, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Wait, which one was created in a lab? Ozzy or Nas X?
Nas X.
Yeah.
No, see, Nas X, I heard a rumor now to piggyback off the Satan story. One, there's rumors that he sold his soul to Satan because he was a nobody. Right. And then all of a sudden he blew up and had this big single that lasted the longest as #1 in the fucking Billboard charts or whatever the case may be. And now he's all this, that, and the other about getting Satan's message out. So people are saying he sold his soul to the devil, which isn't the first time we've heard this, according to musicians, right? And then a second thing is now, where was it, in Texas or Florida? I think I heard this where a judge said that you can promote Satanism in schools because if you can promote Christianity,
that's right.
Yeah, you can promote Christianity, and they're giving out like coloring books to kids with Satanisms and this. Yeah.
They've been doing that for years, dude. That's been going on for years. That the Church of Satan has been doing it for years. The Satanic Temple, to be accurate.
I've been unbooking wrestlers on pro wrestling TV shows too.
They get you knocked off Conrad's show real quick. They're not a fan. The Church of Satan is not an AEW fan. I'm just going to say that right now.
Well, they're different than the Temple of Satan. The Satanic Temple and the Church of Satan are two different things.
Okay, well,
maybe he thinks it's a restaurant. That's why he likes it.
Yeah, man. Is this going to be, Stevie, the new norm as we're using satanic imagery just to normalize and put it over? Meanwhile, our other stories are about, raping Turkish immigrants in front of their fucking kids. Like, just these, what level are we going to take this to of normalizing insanity? I mean, they got a quick marketing ploy out of it, but they're going to throw this. I mean, what's the longevity of Little Nas X? Let's be real,
Well, I mean, Sal's going to be shocked at this that I'm going to say this, but this is definitely something that comes and goes throughout the music industry because 80s death metal, 80s heavy metal. Mm-hmm. There was a band called Wasp that I listened to in high school. Mm-hmm. There's all these different things where
you listened to Wasp in high school.
I did.
You're the one, huh?
I think Krayzie Bone's going to be joining us here in just a minute.
But what I'm saying is, like, this is these trends come in and out of this. It's almost like their trump card that, like, if we're not being edgy enough, we got to lean right back into the satanic stuff because that's what's going to get everybody talking.
And right now, what's going to get everybody talking is legendary MC, Grammy Award winner from Bone Thugs and Harmony, the MC legend himself, Krayzie Bone, joining the Conspiracy Horsemen, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
What's good, man? How y'all doing?
Oh, well, we're just getting heated up over who's going to get the last pair. I think they've sold 665. Who's going to get 666 of the Little Nas X shoes? I know you're on the list.
I looked. They didn't make size 18 AAA, so I couldn't get them.
That shit is crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's this marketing campaign, not the Nas that we grew up with, and obviously your colleague.
Man, definitely, man. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, yo, what the hell, man? This is literally what the hell.
Yeah, well, I would just watched some great videos, and our guy El Plaja helping to get you booked on here. I want to give him a shout out for that, and definitely get your take on a couple things, man, because we had Lord Jamar on, and right in the same, being open, whether it's on Vlad TV about the state of hip hop and what's going on. But the infamous, I believe, 1991 meeting that pretty much was high exec record of industry people being saying that you're going to go straight gangster rap. There's not going to be any of the, educational waking up and higher thought of what's going on, because they wanted to make it for-profit prisons that they were invested in a bigger, factory to just move, African-American youth in and out so they could profit off of it. And now I think that is kind of transition, whether it's them legalizing weed today in New York and plenty of other states, to, are we going in with the gay mafia's satanic agenda is, as we feminize everything in male culture.
Oh yeah, man. I definitely see that's where we're headed. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because when I saw the whole thing with the whole Lil Nas X, I sent it to one of my partners. I was like, bro, you know whose world we living in right now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's getting real. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so blatant now to where it's, it's not in the shadows. It's not, it's not in the closet. It's out in your front yard. You know what I'm saying? Right there for you to see. It's on television. It's on TV, right, for everybody to see. Everything is being revealed. We're in Revelations. It's being revealed. You know what I'm saying? So that's we seeing it right before our eyes. Like I said, man, and it's crazy to see. It's shocking, but it's not surprising.
And how did the other gatekeepers of hip hop feel about that and letting that slide through? Is it just like, well, get your money, young man, any way you can? Or is it you're abusing our art form? Because us as pro wrestlers, you're on with 4 pro wrestlers, we've seen our industry take a beating from amateurs getting in the door, man. And now they're getting the money and not doing the art the right way.
Yeah, man, it's just a shame to me because it's like, what they do to the older generation. Hip hop is like the reason why they're trying to keep these industries young, because they know that once we get a certain age, we're not having the bullshit. It's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to have this. I know the business now. And this and that. And they don't want to deal with that. They rather deal with the young artists that they could give money to, pump them with drugs and the alcohol and give them everything they need. So they totally just out of it. And then when they realize, that their business is not right, they so much in the hole, it's nothing they can do. They become slaves, you know what I'm saying? So it's like this industry has always been like this, man. And it's like, at some point, it's like, okay, at some point the cycle has to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, and that's what we're trying to reach out to the younger generation to get them to understand, but the game keep putting us against each other. So they keep having us beef, like the older generation can't mix with the younger generation. They keep it separate because they don't want us to give them that knowledge. They don't want us to, they don't want them to become smart so that cycle can be broken. But until that cycle is broken, artists is gonna continue to be treated the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's all about education. And these young artists get into this game, they thinking it's, they looking at the surface of the industry. The surface is it's bright, shiny, it's glitter, it's glitzy, but like underneath its layers, and the further you go, that shit gets darker and darker.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That shit gets darker and darker, and like the further down you go, it becomes hard to get up out of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to be careful, like when you get into this, man, like and know what you're doing it for. If you're doing it for money, like most of the people that do it for money, man, like in my opinion, they have no limits. They willing to sacrifice whatever they got to sacrifice, whether it's selling their soul, losing their integrity, whatever it is, they're willing to do it. But the people that's doing it for the art, I know personally, the people that's doing it for the art those are the people that you like. They may bubble some, but they never really get to the full potential because of all the bullshit that's at the top, and they refuse to switch to the bullshit. So that's what Bone Thugs and Harmony is, and like with all this, we refuse to sign to another record label. I would never sign to another record label major record label again, ever.
Yeah, could I get some big brother advice on that right now? Because I did watch, this sticks with me, Bill Burr and Joe Rogan talking, where it's better to have 20,000 fans that are loyal and sell directly to them than to go through a label and sell 1 million and to have that. Because right now we just got demonetized on YouTube, kicked off Twitch, and even the space we paid for it that I know you guys coming up during that early 90s with parental advisory and all that, you've been up against it and been to the top of the mountain. It's better to own your own stuff. Yes,
man, always, man. Like, especially in our position where we are now, where we've been in the game over 25 years. It's like, why in the hell would we sign to another? We've been signed to damn near every major company it is. We were Sony, we were with Universal, we were with Interscope, we were with Warner Brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, you don't want to get Sony like Michael Jackson. That was not. Yeah. Can you guys?
You're muted.
I think you might have got pretty crazy.
Huh?
There you came back, man. We just missed you right there on the Michael Jackson line.
Okay, yeah. No, man, but it's like it wouldn't make no sense, like, especially for us, like, to sign to another label at this time in our careers, because everything we've been through, like, it's been the same thing over and over again. So we can't expect nothing to change now because it's all about money. So we're fortunate to have a fan base like ours that has stuck with us through thick and thin, and we have millions of fans that we can directly market to and sell our music to. And that's what we've been working on tapping into right now, because we don't need them, man. Like, we don't, like, the industry respects Bone Thugs and Harmony. We never get caught up in East Coast, West Coast. We never get caught up in no kind of drama like that. Like,
what about there's a little Wu-Tang that got squashed. Hopefully they tour together, man. I was so excited for that.
But all that resorted into us being young, wild. Yeah. We was all in our prime, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, and it was all for silly reasons. Like, so all that, everybody we supposedly had beef with back then, all that shit has been squashed. Like,
yeah. Everybody's too old to fight. But if it was to go down inside Bone Thugs and Harmony, who's coming out and top in a wrestling match out of all the members in Bone Thugs?
Man, I don't know, man. That's a good, you know what I'm saying? That's a real good one, man.
Right now, Little Bow Wow, Soulja Boy, and Cardi B are trying to set it off with wrestlers, man. So I didn't know if you were going to challenge us tonight, if it was going to go down like that or not.
Oh, what, man? No, man. I don't want no problems.
Hey, I got a quick question for you
about the NFL stuff in the background, Stevie, as well. Because
EAGLES, Eagles. I see it behind them. Hope
yeah, man. Little cave where I disappeared to.
That's awesome. What the question I had was, obviously you're Grammy Award winning, your group, and now we obviously have a wrestling crossover. Bad Bunny, who Ben has gone on and on about being a factory made property, wins the Grammys. And what you're saying here is, obviously you guys have a loyal fan base. You have millions and millions of people that still follow you and support you. But it looks like the industry is trying to kind of like wait it out and kind of push you guys to the side, or suppress the fact you guys even exist, to push these kinds of properties with the phony awards.
Yes, man, they do. They it's crazy how they try to, like, erase us from history. Like, it's crazy. Like, when they talk about, like, the groups of the 90s that made the most impacts, they always somehow seem to leave Bone Thugs and Harmony out. I'm like, how y'all leave us out when all these artists, even to today, are like emulating the Bone Thugs and Harmony style? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't understand, man. Like, I think that, like, sometimes I feel like, this may be my conspiracy, but like, sometimes I feel like they thought, like, the industry thought that we were going to be that, because our music was so melodic and so hypnotizing. It's like what we were actually saying actually surpassed people's, like for some reason it surpassed, like, the lyrics, because the lyrics were nothing. We wasn't singing no love songs or nothing like that. The lyrics were, like, very grimy, but somehow the way we delivered it surpassed like people's attention, and they just accepted it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I feel like the industry thought that we were going to be those dudes to mislead millions. We were the key. You know what I'm saying? They put all, because on our album covers, the designs they would put on our album covers, and I knew with none of that. We knew what none of that shit meant. You know what I'm saying? Like we just like they designed our album covers and shit. You know what I'm saying? They had all this stuff on there, and I knew what none of it meant like until years later. And then
the skull and bones imagery and everything went along with that.
Yeah, all that. And and then after we did the Ouija song, which I tell people all day, like we vowed to talk about everything that we done when we were younger, when we experienced, like no matter if it was good or bad. And we played the Ouija board one time. It was a game we got from Toys R Us. You know what I'm saying? Like we got the Ouija board. We heard people talking about it, so we got it and we played it. It was like a once or two time. One time we played it by ourselves. Another time we played in front of some girls trying to show off. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then after that, like we really left it alone. But like people was trying to like label us as like devil worshipers and like stuff like that. And then when I looked at the imagery that the label was like putting behind us, I was like, this is why people was believing that. It was like I wasn't even knowing like what all these like horns and like all this stuff was. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's just making the album cover look good, making us, because it fits our little eerie sound. But it was just
you just thought it was another beach party at Epstein Island. You didn't know where you were.
Exactly. Exactly, for real.
I think what happens is just one follow-up question real quick. My opinion with that is the fact that they suppress you guys or try to erase you from existence because the quality, it's like wrestling in a lot of ways or any entertainment. The quality of your group, the quality of your music, of your product will expose their current shitty product, and they can't have that.
Man, and we saw that at an early like period in our career. We had like every top executive trying to get at us, trying to get us. A lot of people trying to get us from Ruthless Records. We had Tommy Mottola trying to get at us. We had Russell Simmons was trying to bring us over to Def Jam. We had everybody trying to snatch us, like, you know what I'm saying, like trying to get us to come over, man. But it was like we just didn't let nobody, like, we were so against letting people control us because we had heard about what was going on over at Ruthless Records with Eazy-E. We wasn't stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we were so like had our guards up so much, like we vowed not to let nobody control us. And when they saw they couldn't control us, stories start coming out. Oh, they're dysfunctional. They don't get along with each other. You can't work with them. They're drunks. They on drugs and all this crazy shit. When it's simply because we don't want to follow your fucking agenda. We want to do what the fuck we want to do. It was as simple as that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are really almost the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon of hip hop, from Biggie Smalls to Tupac, Jam Master Jay. I mean, there isn't anybody a top name that didn't want Bone Thugs on their track to have that special Cleveland sound, kind of the bridge between East and West Coast at that time, man. Would you mind talking about the Eazy-E conspiracy at all? And if not, if you don't want to, I want to know what your guilty pleasures are and if you have any conspiracies. Like, we like Giants, the Mandela Effect, UFOs. If anything like that sticks out in your mind, man, what are you a geek for in that stuff?
Man, it is a whole conspiracy surrounding the death of Eazy-E.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole thing, like, people don't think he actually died from AIDS. They think, he was somehow injected of it because, like, I always said this myself, because I've seen many people that have passed away from full-blown AIDS. Like, I've seen many people that passed away from full-blown cancer, and those people look like they're about to pass away from that disease. Eazy-E didn't. It's just crazy because he didn't look like that at all. Like, it wasn't like it just happened so fast. It was just like, yo, how's it going from this to this? Now he's dead. It was just like, it was just crazy. And then nobody, nobody. He had from my understanding, there were several women pregnant by him, and that, like none of them, nobody ever came out and said that they were infected by him. And we all know Easy E liked to get down. He got around.
Yeah.
Everybody know that was real in the movie. That's what you see. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so it looks like the perfect plan to me, if you ask me.
Well, with Suge putting that out there, even like kind of bragging about it, on camera, and there's no telling what he wouldn't do to stay on top on Vlad TV. It kind of it points to that there's more that was even said there. And I'm not trying to make light of your mentor, but in the time of COVID-related death, where everything is that could have easily been mislabeled at that time as well, shoved under the carpet,
Yeah, man. It really could. Same thing with like Tupac and Biggie. So I mean, you never know, man. It's just like really strange. Like these high profile artists and like these things that happen like this, and it's just like, okay, it happened, it's over with, it's done. Let's move on.
Right.
It's crazy.
Secret Nazi submarine bases under the Antarctic. Go ahead.
What now?
GGP, go ahead, man. You're a hip hop lover. You're on with a legend here. I'll pass the mic to you, buddy.
Yeah, I got a quick question to ask you. As we were saying before, these new generation of rappers or hip hop artists that are very feminized and don't have any talent and rely too much on auto tune and not any lyrics or any talent whatsoever, who are basically being pushed by the record companies to make $1 off their hard work. You have guys like yourself, guys like KRS-One, guys like Wu-Tang, guys like Nas, pioneers in the game, guys that I grew up listening to, guys who had talent, who have a good catalog of music, but also have a love for the game. You guys ever think about coming together to try to put up some kind of resistance to stopping the situation from occurring? I mean, you just made a good point. Like you're trying to drop some knowledge on these cats who are young in the game, who are being distracted with the fame and the glitter and the glamour and all this stuff. But in actuality, they're just being misled down the wrong path, so the record companies can keep making money off of their or lack of talent, off of their gimmicks now. Have you guys ever thought about not unionizing, but coming together to try to put some kind of barrier to try to protect the genre? You know what I mean? Because I mean, we're like, for example, like Funk Flex here in New York, right? Because I'm in New York. He's playing all these corny ass records with all these auto tunes and all these cats who can't rhyme, who can't kick 16, they can't do anything right? And they sound horrible on the mic. And then he's pushing it like they're fire, but they're not fire. We know he's getting paid to do a job and getting paid by the record station. He's supposed to push certain records. But any of you guys ever come and say, "Hey, Flex, enough with the bullshit. Why don't you play some records from the 90s, early 2000s that were actually full of lyrics and people who can go, as opposed to what's going on today?"
Yeah, bro, you have a very strong point there, and that's where I think, that's what I think needs to happen, because to my knowledge, like so far, it hasn't happened. I was talking to some of my people about like doing, like putting together those seminars that Russell Simmons used to do, those hip hop summits used to do, and I came up with a name for it and everything, man. Called it Bridging the Gap, and basically bringing the younger generation and the older generation together to conversate in the room, like we had panels and like do stuff like that, man. Because I honestly feel, it's time for artists that that was here when hip hop started up until now to stand up and demand control of the culture, because it's crazy how we're letting them dictate the culture, like, because it's like all they're giving you is the bullshit when there's so much more. There's so many dope artists out here, but they're creating this narrow path that if you don't come out sounding like this, there's no way you can make it. And there's so many talented artists out here, and that's exactly what artists need to do, man. They need to like come together and like throw little summits like that to start to open up the eyes of these young artists. Because like I said, the cycle has to be broken. It has to be broken, or it's never going to stop.
But now the thing that comes to mind immediately. So I remember just trying to come up even in wrestling, it's the same thing. You don't want to make the $25 a night, and then once you go somewhere and you start making the $100 a night, and then it's $150 a night, and then you start $500 a night. Holy shit, man! Now it's starting to pick up.
Yeah.
At no point, and this is true. This is a true thing of me too. If they would have said, "Hey, you want to jump through this? You want to jump off a thing today? Yeah. You want to jump off a ladder today? Sure. You want to jump off a table? Absolutely." I would do whatever he wanted. Whatever my boss wanted, I would do it because I said, you know what? Great. I want to be something. I want to do something.
Aren't you glad you're just a rapper and you got like a jump off ladders through tables, man?
So, but that's the thing. But now, so these kids coming up, they get the taste of it, and they get to go to a party, and they get to go and say, "Oh, I got to rub elbows with this guy. I got to meet this guy. Oh, and guess what? This dude came up to me and he was like, 'Oh man, I liked your shit. You sounded hot. Great, terrific.'" So now your head's swimming. You're a young kid, and you're like, "This is amazing. I am now living my fucking dream." Yeah. And the minute that record guy comes up to you, and everybody is in your ear telling you how great you are. The minute they come up to you and they say, "Hey man, we want to sign you." Fuck yeah, that's what I wanted. I want to get signed by the time I'm 19. Great. Now you're in. And and here's the thing. It's not like you don't have people going, "No, just be careful. Watch what you're signing. Watch what you're doing." So now they got lawyers, and they got this guy, and they got that guy. So they have a squad of people already. This kid's 19. He's got a squad of people reading papers for him. He's got a squad of people telling him the best move for him to do. Or, well, you know what you should do? This is what we should do. So then you get somebody like Krayzie Bone who comes in and goes, "Hey, man, let me talk to you for a second." And now Krayzie Bone, from what Krayzie Bone is telling him, he wants him to turn his back on all this money they're offering. They're going to turn all this money on all the radio play they're going to give him. Exactly. Fuck, Krayzie Bone's jealous of my shit. And now this kid has now become this prick who has to go on Twitter now and is going to say, "Fucking Krayzie Bone tried stepping on my shit." Because that's what it is now. There is no more integrity. Everything is, I need this now. I need to be paid. Anybody who doesn't want to see me paid is obviously jealous. Fuck them. I'm going to blow them up on social media. Yeah. And that's where we're at. We don't have anybody who's go, "Oh, wow, thanks, Krayzie. That's fucking, you're giving me the real deal. Thank you. You've been through it. You've been sitting here for a while, and you're still alive, and you're still successful. So cool for you."
That's happened to everybody, but it won't happen to me. Right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man, no, it has happened. It's crazy you say that because I was going to say this happens to every single artist. And the key is, because I feel like everybody is going to come in, especially when you're like young and you come in, like even with us, like we were like 17, 18, 19, fresh off the streets. Some of us homeless, just getting into trouble.
Yeah, at 17 years old, you were in a homeless situation at that time. I have that in my notes, right, man? So you, a true, nobody gave anybody nothing. You guys went to California on a one-way bus ticket, and we're knocking down doors, and that's how persistence every day with Easy calling you guys back. Went back to Cleveland and opened for them, and that's what started it all, man.
Yeah, bro. So it was blood, sweat, and tears, and everything has changed now because you got these artists just like you said, like they blow up on social media and YouTube, and they have no struggle story. This story is, "Oh yeah, I posted a video on YouTube, and I was, what I'm saying, TikTok, and what I'm saying, you don't hear the stories. Well, yeah, I was sleeping on park benches, what I'm saying, I was like, what I'm saying, we had to do, because in Cleveland there was no music scene like that. We had to be seen any way we could. Like it wasn't no sitting in the house posting videos. It was blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I'm saying? So I think they miss, they miss they don't have the struggle story. So it's really not respected as much as when you put in that hard work and when you finally make it like, "Man, y'all don't know what I went through to get this." You know what I'm saying? And I think they just that's why they don't have the respect of the, you hear these younger artists disrespecting Tupac and Biggie and stuff like this. I'm like, bro, these dudes ain't even here to defend themselves. And they've accomplished way more than you ever will. I don't care how many songs how many times you stream, they sold records. It's a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know
We say it all the time.
And they're good.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they'll save their "I was abused as a kid." They'll save that for their big Barbara Walters, shoot interview.
Yeah, definitely.
But nobody's heard about that until 20 years after the fact.
I gotta put you on blast because I'm about to expose you right now in a big conspiracy that you are the man and the mind behind this new NFT craze, as you tried to market the $1 million E99 album, and then it went away, and now here we are on Ethereum selling pieces of art that are digital and just 7 years ahead of your time. I knew that somebody was going to put it back out there, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to admit that you are the guy behind the NFT craze right now.
Yeah, man. Gotta be. Man, I was thinking about that. I was like, damn, man. Remember y'all was on that already. I was like, man, it's great. We should have did it for real.
But that's where aren't all brilliant artists ahead of their time, and this is just the world catching up to it.
Yes, indeed, man. That's what it is.
I think the real question is, what would you do to Bad Bunny at WrestleMania if you had a match against him?
If I did what?
If you had an opportunity to get in a ring with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, what would you do to him?
Man, WrestleMania, man, I would just go as crazy as I could up in there, man.
What would you do with that pink microphone that he has?
Yeah.
Stiffen everybody.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Lots of symbolism with him, too. We talk about that all the time. Crazy.
Yeah, your frog splash can't be any worse than Snoop Dogg's was. So we'll train you to make look.
Man, I saw Snoop. I was dying when I saw that.
Okay, wait. I got to. Now I want to ask. So let's ask the other side. You're obviously You've never been trained in wrestling, all right? No. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
You've never been trained by any sort of stuntman or any stage fighting. What was when you saw Snoop do it? What was the first thing that went through your mind? Like when you saw it, were you like, "Oh, Snoop," or were you like, "Yeah, you did"?
I was like, "Don't do it, man! Don't! Why'd you do it, Snoop? Why'd you do it?"
Oh man, we wouldn't let you slip like that. But here's the Miz, Cleveland's own the Miz with Bad Bunny. Why wouldn't he call on Bone Thugs and Harmony to come put a beat down on Bad Bunny? I mean, that's just the way it should be, man. If you're representing Cleveland.
Hey, man. Hey, we got to do that for real. Me and the boys will roll through.
WrestleMania needs it to help with the ticket sales right now. I'm here to tell you that, man. That's for sure.
So let me ask you this, Krayzie. How many guys in the game, how many cats in the industry right now are ticked off with the way people are being presented, the way they're feminizing hip hop, the way they're messing up the culture that you guys all built, and
or how do we ban Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head, but we got wet ass pussy like this double standard? Grand Theft Auto, wet ass pussy. Dr. Seuss is out. A real MC. Dr. Seuss is a real MC too, man. Come on,
man. I think what they need to do, man. I think it's a lot of people. I think there is a lot of people that feel, that don't like it. But I think a lot of people not speaking up. I've even seen some people from our generation, brush it off like, oh man, let them make their money. And I'm like, bro, it ain't even about that, bro. Like, it's about an agenda that they're trying to push. You know what I'm saying? Like, not push, but trying to force.
Yes. That's where I was getting at.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's one thing to promote it. Okay, that's your thing. You do what you do. But when you're trying to force it to make it seem like, like how I live my life is wrong, and I'm wrong for like I'm never bowing down to that. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me for real.
Yeah. No, I hear you, brother. We all feel the same way on this show. I mean, we all grew up in the 80s and the 90s, so we're from a different time when men were men and women were women. And regardless of what side of the spectrum you are today, if you're a man, want to be a woman want to be a man, I don't care. As long as you're not hurting anybody or any children, do whatever you want. If you're 18 years old and over, whatever. But the fact that everything's being forced down our throats, and now they're using hip hop as a catalyst to try to push this agenda. Like you said, they're using the movies, they're using television. I mean, how many?
It's identical in what we have. Like we have a whole wrestling organization that claims to be woke and socially, morally driven for 2021. So they have trans, and today's some trans celebration day. I think I saw a lot of people doing, but that brings up, even though it's phony wrestling, a woman MMA fighter who's considered a trans sexual fighter is now fighting other women, beating the shit out of them, leaving them laying. But we have to we have to go through the social norm instead of whatever's going on. And then also in the 80s, we had Adrian Adonis. We even went to Billy and Chuck with the gay wedding stuff in wrestling. Now another persona there is, openly, flamboyantly right on the line where you're like, trying not to look, but if you do, then what's that mean about you? Like pushing these strange social norms, man, to like normalize it and make you feel bad for just a small percentage of a population controlling everything in the narrative.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, and that's why I don't like. You know what I'm saying? It's just like like make you the bad guy. Like, like for real. And that's what it's turning into, man. And it's great. It's scary for real. No lie.
As a 2-time Grammy Award winner, and I'm getting tired of this too, with who's the ones controlling the game. We see this Saturnalia, Illuminati, eyeball, whatever, it's one eye covered, whatever they want to do, every magazine cover. But even this year, it seems like we're right back to it, where the eyeball symbolism that we mock in that structure is right back in the mainstream as part of the conditioning. Have you ever seen, or what are your feelings on that, of who are these set designers that are doing the Super Bowl, that are doing the Olympics, that are pushing these weird constructions for no reason, man?
Man, that's a good question, man. Like, because I'm like, just knowing what these signs and symbols are related to should urge people not to even want to be associated with. You know what I'm saying? But like when you think it's cool to indulge in it just like for image, or what I'm saying, it's like, man, it's like it really makes no sense to me, because it's like, to me, like knowing something like that, like once I learned about all that stuff, like before I knew about it, I was like, oh bro, like, I'm not indulging with nothing that has to do with that. And anybody that does it, like, they know exactly what they're doing, whether they're doing it for, say, to promote themselves or not. They know what it represents, so they're voluntarily doing it. So, it's just like, I just stay away from it, man, because it's like, again, that's something else is just getting like bolder and bolder. People doing it, knowing what it represents, but they're gonna represent it anyway. Just like I heard, like, this dude sold all those shoes, man. I'm like, wow, like it's just that blatant.
And we were talking right before you came on. It's the satanic panic of the 80s in the hairband industry, reinvented through a gay mafia style hip hop style. You know what I mean? In all of that, they've just switched it to another counterculture at the end of the day to make more money off of it.
Yeah, man. It's just
so
like
Krayzie. Do you have people like, if you're hanging out somewhere, you guys are talking, just bullshitting? Do you have people that you say, dude, what's going on with this? Or do you keep it real quiet and talk like in private amongst your friends?
I mean, everybody talk amongst their friends. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do. Like, to sit here and say you don't talk amongst your friends, whether no matter what color you is bullshit. We all sit up and talk. We done cracked on people, done made jokes and all type of shit. Everybody do it. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man, like we talk about it all the time. Like I got a partner, we sit up every time I turn the news on and see some crazy shit. I'm like, man, do you see this shit that's on the news right now? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm always in tune to what's going on, and you know what I'm saying? We talk about it. Like I have a podcast called Truth Talks, and we talk about this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I'm not scared to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I respect everybody, and I don't say stuff that's, you know what I'm saying, going to like make like offend people, but I'm not going to bite my tongue against the truth. That's one thing, like, for real.
And that's why you're here with us, man. No, he doesn't talk about that stuff with his friends. He waits to come up with 4 white wrestlers, and that's when he can let his hair down and talk about it.
That's the reason that
for months.
Because like that's exactly how we all did the same thing. We were all being locker rooms separately.
Yeah.
And you bring something up. Oh, did you guys see this? Or did you see that? And everybody just shits all over you, man. They just couldn't wait to bury you with it. So it was like really an actual accident that we all wound up meeting up. Despite working with each other at one point or another, we all realized then after years that we all had the same mindset where we can talk about this shit and, hey, this doesn't make sense. Yeah. And, but in the mainstream, you call it the mainstream locker room, out in public, you can't talk about that shit because people look at you and they go, what? Now it's even worse. Now with social media, it's even worse. But back in the day in the locker room, you didn't talk about it out loud.
Yeah.
I was the idiot about a week after 9/11 in a WWE locker room going, man, something doesn't seem right about those towers. I got the shit kicked out of me in the ring like every day for like 6 months. But I knew I couldn't keep my mouth shut about certain things, like you said. It isn't right because more travesties, more of what we're seeing now will happen if nobody opens their mouth.
Exactly.
Is there a guilty pleasure that you nerd out for, man, that you want to let us in on? Like, GGP's our Star Wars expert. He's a horror guy. Stevie's addicted to microphones, and I've got 3D printers. What's Krayzie Bones' guilty pleasure, man?
Man, I'm addicted to to Western movies, man. Like,
really?
Man, I sit up all day and night like watching Westerns. I'll be like searching for new ones that I ain't seen and all type of shit, man. Like,
what's some of your favorites, man?
Oh man, Fistful of Dollars. Nice. Old school ones like Saddle Tramp and like
El Dorado.
Yeah, oh yeah. All those, man. And like,
here comes the Krayzie Bone country crossover. Here it comes.
Hey, man. You already know it. You already know.
Krayzie, give us your podcast again, man, so we can get subscribed there. Where can we find that?
It's called True Talks. We actually just assigned a new situation with Social Club Network, and we're gonna start with them start recording next week. So we have some episodes that's on YouTube right now. Mm-hmm. If you go on YouTube and look at Krayzie Bone Truth Talks, you can find some episodes on there. But
awesome.
So
we're hoping to keep that. Vlad's doing great work and getting real talk for the hip hop industry, and has been for a long time. But you coming on and Lord Jamar and our UFC connections, man, we're trying to just create a community of open-minded thinkers, man, across all boards. And you have fans all over the world, that are hip-hop heads. Doesn't matter where you are, London, Japan, America, Canada, wherever, man. Is there something that you can see in this time where they're trying to divide us on every sense, from Dr. Seuss to whatever it is in this cancel culture, that music's a great uniter? So you have that power. What can we do to, in your opinion, to tune out the bullshit and get to the level we need to, is, not being racially divided, not being as culturally divided as we are doing?
Yeah, man, because we have to understand, the people that are truly in power, they're not racist at all. They're just using it against us. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just like we're their Grand Theft Auto game, and they just playing us, how they playing us against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to realize that it's been documented that use racial division was to be the number one tool to keep us from coming together. You know what I'm saying? So until people realize that and realize that it's erase all those color lines and to hell with the black race, the white race, or whatever race, and let's just be the human race. And when people can understand that, man, that's the message that needs to be preached. Like, we done all this before. We done bumped heads and ended up at the same place we started. You know, like with all this racism shit. Like, you know, that people thought this shit was over. This shit had happened back in the 60s, and like, but now we done bumped heads again, and it's at the same place again. So it's like, until that happens, like, you know, like we just gonna keep doing the same thing, like making the same damn mistake with this.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the first of the month check because everybody's popping for the STEMI now at the end of the day, right, man? They got everybody.
For real, definitely.
Well, here's the deal. The public don't know that there's strength in numbers. No one wants to open up their eyes and take that quote-unquote red pill and wake up. And the people in power know this because they know that if we all came together on the same wavelength or frequency, we all came together united, that the people who are robbing this country now, robbing us blind through taxation or whatever means necessary they're distracting us and robbing us with, they're going to realize they're outnumbered and that they actually do work for us, and that if we came together as a cohesive unit, there would be no stopping us. But again, we all fall. It's like Lucy. It's like Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football. You know, every time he thinks he's going to kick it, she pulls it away, and we keep falling for the same shit over and over again. That's what's going down right now. Whether it's sexual, whether it's gender, whether it's religion, politics, social standing, race, doesn't matter. We all bleed the same fucking blood. We all have red blood. We all have the same organs. We all have the same skeleton. Whatever's on the outside really doesn't matter. It's on the inside that what counts. That's what I mean. That's the way I was raised, and that's how these guys are too. So,
man, and it's the key point you just said. The key thing you just said, man, is when you said, like, you know, they're using the race card on us, but they're robbing all of us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like they cheating and robbing all of us. Like while we're fighting each other, like they're in all of our pockets, like unnecessarily though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy. Like the level of greed is crazy. So that's what we need to wake up to, man, and like realize we ain't the enemies. It's the people that's actually trying to control us. Like, for real.
Well, he's here, you guys. Wake up, wake up. It is crazy. It's Krayzie Bone. Yes. You guys know him, legendary MC, man. You open invitation. We'd love to have you back whenever the next crazy shit pops off, because we'll always be here, hopefully. A free platform to keep truth open and open conversation going. And we thank you so much for giving us your time tonight, man. Is there anything else we can help promote for you or follow you? I know it's at I Am Krayzie Bone on Twitter. I'm on the gram. I'm not sure how active you are on that, but you know, you're the legend, man.
Hey, Krayzie_Bone, man. Thank y'all for having me, man. Appreciate y'all. Love the show, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all.
Thank you for coming on.
You, man.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
All right, man.
Be safe.
We'll see you at WrestleMania.
Yes, indeed. For sure. All right.
Later, man. Oh, dude, there he goes. That was awesome. You know, another landmark show for us. I want to say thanks to El Plaja and even Lord Jamar, who was ready to do the run-in, and hopefully we can hook up with Godfrey and them and Rod Digga and maybe do a crossover there as well. It's starting to become like some Scooby-Doo episodes out here, man. You don't know who's going to show up with the celebrity appearance next, or who's going to show up on Gilligan's Island and wash up on shore, but
Can we have El Plaja do us a favor, please?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For Stevie's sakes, can we get Debbie Gibson and Tiffany on the same fucking show?
Let's do it. Let's try our best and get them on there.
I was going to say, in all seriousness, this could be getting very dangerous for people who are trying to push the narrative. You have Lord Jamar coming on here with us. You have Krayzie Bone. We're showing just with this, and the conversations we're having are super dangerous because they're civil. We agree. Even if we don't agree on everything, we have a civil conversation, and they do not want that. The gravity of these two episodes with Lord Jamar and Krayzie Bone, I mean, if the wrong or the right people heard them, we could get shut down even worse.
Well, I think we've finally maybe found our hill to die on, infidels, because
we're gonna get the same demographic as those two guys. Yeah, they have cornered the market on people that are tired of the bullshit and all the stuff they're being fed. We could be the same type of people.
A small catalyst to, and I'm not saying 4 white wrestlers got to be pushing the hip hop community, but I'm tired of that old hip hop's a young man's game. No, it's not. Hip hop is about knowledge, street knowledge. And hip hop and when you get more knowledge and wisdom as you grow older and learn from your mistakes to pass them on. So whatever these summits are, even if we got to lay out and help to promote, do whatever we need to do to get that level of, I've seen Black Thought doing it at what's the famous theater downtown with the Rockettes?
Carnegie Hall,
Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, like so he had one there for MCs, like spread that knowledge. You know what I mean? Like
practice
Carnegie Hall. Like, to me, I would love to tune in and get knowledge from RZA and all that kind of shit, and especially from Bone Thugs and Harmony, man. And that was just another special experience in what's been great shows the last 2 or 3 months here at Conspiracy Horsemen.
And it's not one of those things where like you get the DJs who are like, "Oh, thanks for coming on," and they know nothing about them. They don't know anything. They have nothing on the same level with them. We all agree on the same shit as far as, you know, the overall message.
You could tell of how successful he is now, because all GGP had to say was taxes, and he was like, "Oh man," he just had to say the word taxes. You know, he's been getting fucked by H&R Block the last month, getting his shit ready. Because that's the great equalizer: death and taxes at the end of the day, right? And the more successful you are, the bigger bite they're going to take out of your ass, man. But. From G-Max to Krayzie Bone, it's been a hot night of MCs dropping bars here of truth on the Conspiracy Horsemen, man. Once again, shout out El Plaja. I am Krayzie Bone. Follow him. Go check out his YouTube, because we really want to increase. This is what's the most important. This type of dialogue, this type of back and forth between niche communities, whether it's wrestling, internet, video game fans, hip hop, 90s kids. Generation X will not be denied when it comes to saying the truth, because we watched the Vietnam generation get fucked over and watched their PTSD. And then we watched it all happen again with 9/11. And we were right in the mix in the renaissance of music, movies, sex, and free thought. And that's why weed is legal today in New York State, infidels. So y'all, the NFO podcast, it's going down. GGP, what's the big episode this week?
We're recording tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about. Bad Batch trailer dropped. There's
Speaking
news
of Jizzy,
there's news there's news about Sebastian Stan taking over the helm of Luke Skywalker, and Mark Hamill, responding to him, asking that I will only do it if he calls me and gives me his permission, because I want him to pass me the torch and all this stuff. And there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight. Plus, we're doing Who's Moreover, K2SO, or IP11.
I saw that Luke Skywalker next level kid, man. That was scary close. It was very good.
Oh, hell yeah. First thing I want to pop, I popped whoever changed our names to Bones, Papa Bone, Big Sally Bone. I popped huge. Secondly, I want to give a shout out to all our listeners who are watching this not live and who will watch it on the replay. Give my man Jermaine, Maine the Medicine Man. He's a rapper. He's just like us. He's on the independent.
Yeah, let's hit him. Jermaine say it again.
His name's Jermaine, but he goes under the name Maine the Medicine Man.
Maine the Medicine Man.
He's been doing it for 20 some odd years, and he's dope.
He's great. Rated R CNY. My own guy rated R here. Frio, Isa Black, who just got signed as well. These are all grinders and great MCs who have that Hot 97 mentality and deserve to get looked at off of this show alone, and us mention them, you guys. Again, there is talent out there. You don't got to settle for body yaddy 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 every 25 minutes, you guys. Sally, you got the body over there stacking them up in the horror junkyard. Is he playing live tonight? Is anything going on?
No, horror junkyard's back?
We're doing. We have a meeting tonight.
We have a meeting.
Okay, we're having a meeting. We're having a production meeting tonight. We're doing some of the reorganizing and putting together some actual.
Does it have anything to do with prison
material that we need?
People are missing you guys, man. They really love that show. I know that you want to have it, a good.
We're going to give them something better. That's what we're trying to do.
I just want to let you know that you're loved and that they want more. So I hope that you guys have a great meeting tonight and we get great new content hammered out, man. As much as we can keep it live. Or you're the only ones with Twitch channels still, so you're the most over on all of us.
Yeah,
really. But I hope the Sour Patch Kids are fresh and not stale at the meeting. Stevie,
that's what we ask for on our writer.
Stevie, the mic, I give it a C+ tonight. There was a couple times where it didn't. You might want to think about
clicking on your mic, Stevie.
If I knew I was going to be such fast friends with Krayzie Bone, I would have gotten a better mic for this.
Well, that did pop me during the Lord Jamar. I was over Jamar because these are pro MCs, pro recording artists, and what you have is all top equipment. So when they see a hot mic, they're like, "Ooh, I like the way that sounded when I recorded with Snoop Dogg." And now Stevie's got the same setup. They can catch it by eye.
It sounds slightly different. All that. Yeah, that was great though. That
was great on Snoop. He got his heat on Snoop there, man. We're going to ask every rapper we ever have on about the Snoop spot.
But they all got it. If they know him, they got to rib him about it. Like, saw you fall from the top rope. Like I've wrestled almost 30 years. I won't jump off the top rope for a splash. I'll give it to Snoop. He just didn't know any better. He could have blew both his knees out and it would have been like a boogeyman spot. Or just like
there ain't a lot to Snoop with skin and bones either. That's the thing. Like there's not a lot of padding on him to start.
What if he didn't even splash, but when he jumped off the top rope, he just floated across the ring?
He just hung in the air.
He doesn't weigh anything.
Or he really got his shit in and said, "Fuck this splash," and gives him the double stomp off the top rope and hits it hard as shit. That would have been great.
That's what I wonder. I wonder if yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Everybody will be happy to have the junkyard back till they get it, and then they won't want it anymore. That's what Sal's face said a minute ago.
It comes with one free book as well. The StevieRichardsFitness.com.
Stevie Richards Fitness. We've all had a hell of a week. I was supposed to film a new workout video with power bands based on isometrics, which would have been very fascinating. And actually, I put up a few Instagram stories. It won't come. It just won't be on the beach because we picked the very worst time to go there and traffic and all this stuff. So now I'm looking for around 10 to 20 acres somewhere around here to film on the mountains and also shoot guns. I have my own little range. You guys are invited. There will be a whole conspiracy built eventually while my wife gets tired of me. So you're all welcome to come up there.
P.
Huh?
Plaja wants to be known as Booker P because he's the Booker of Legends.
Don't get cocky, kid. So,
yes.
Your Interest Fitness, also ForceUSA.com/Stevie, DiamondbackFitness.com/Stevie. And of course, I hate social media, so don't follow me anywhere.
Well, you know what, Stevie? Because I love you. Hold on, because I love you, Stevie. I just invited Debbie Gibson on our show on Twitter. Hopefully, she'll take us up on it.
What if she doesn't know what she's getting into, and it's like she just thinks, "Oh, we have an 80s love song."
That's even better.
And you start asking about, "Oh, I saw the one video with like what was up with that satanic ritual during that music video?"
Oh, I bet she's been to a lot of parties when she was young, where some strange fucking goings went on.
And she's on Broadway too, so she's probably in all these different things. I'm wondering who is like in the 80s. I would say Dee Snider was probably a guy from the 80s that hates the government, doesn't believe anything he's told.
He testified right when they tried to take him down. I absolutely would love to have that. This is what we need to be doing, is bridging these gaps, man. We're from Debbie Gibson to Lord Jamar to Pat Miletich to John McAfee to Tim Alberino. I mean, it's been an unbelievable 2020, 2021. While everyone's locked down, we've really expanded, the vision of what we wanted to do. Go ahead, pal.
I should have put a picture of Stevie on the beach and Tim Alberino on the tweet. Yes. We would have had her.
Just delete the tweet and re-put it out there. She probably hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, definitely.
Tiffany too.
You guys tweet Debbie Gibson and Tiffany. Tell them both that we are excited to have them coming on. Just let us know when we need to book them, and we'll get this.
Let's be fair. She's going to Fabi Gibson to us.
Actually, Kenny G's like like a really angry guy. Like he's probably so sick and fed up with everything.
Hookers in the Orient.
Yeah, he's probably like Epstein's best friend.
He does the whole nine.
Stevie, you good for the morning, or you got?
I'm good for the morning. I am
okay.
Good
I
for that.
appreciate that. And he also looks good on the cover of Retromania Gaming. You guys, the arcade versions are out, the download versions out. Guys been playing it in the Hameen Media Group already. Whole Stevie Richards Fitness Gym backdrop where you can beat up Tommy Dreamer, and then he can tell you what spots you missed afterwards.
Stevie's a giant
awesome.
In that picture.
He's awesome. Well, Russo's going to
full-sized arcade game.
Russo's going to come in and show him how small he really is. So,
oh, you mean like this picture?
Dude, look, Russo doesn't think he's 6'5".
What is that?
That's pull it a little closer, Stevie.
Russo's a tall dude.
Dude, he's a big son of a bitch. Look at that
6'5" though.
Yeah, I'm 6'3", and he probably had a half inch on me. So I think he's like, no, bro, I'm not 6'4". Yeah, you are, dude. You are. But you're
Fuck,
7.
I wish I was 6'4".
I know. Sally says I'm not 7 foot, even though he is. But
I saw Vince. I was walking down the little village. It's like a market village here in Smyrna, and I was walking down the street. What he described wasn't far off from his excitement. Like he was just stood up out of the
Christ coming back, and he was all
funny.
excited and marking out, man. Absolutely. I wish I was there to see that moment as well. But it was a great moment here tonight with all 4 of the Conspiracy Horsemen and a 2-time Grammy Award-winning legendary MC, man. I don't know much what else we can give you. Thanks for going to all of our ProWrestlingTees.com in these tough times where we're user-funded. You guys know where to find us. It's free right now at hackerhameen.podbean.com. Plenty of stuff on patreon.com/Hameen Media Group as well. But get with the Bomo Thugs or holler, because that's what we're going to do. The Conspiracy Horseman Infidel, Krayzie Bone, the Thuggish, Ruggish Horseman. Yalla.